As a kid, did you guys ever, like, think about video game abilities, if you had them in real life, and how you would use them? Like, as a kid in elementary school, I thought about ender pearling around the place from Minecraft. I don't know why. So today, I'm gonna choose one Overwatch ability, weapon, ultimate, or passive ability that I would want in my day-to-day life that I could use. Keep in mind that this is a personal preference video, so if you disagree with me, please comment down below. I know I say this a lot in the video, but I do look at your guys' comments. I just don't reply to all of them because there's sometimes 1,000 of them, and I cannot get to people. So if you for sure want your comments read and for me to reply, join the Discord down below or on screen if I decide to do it this time. But with that being said, let's get into it with Diva. To start off, we already got a very difficult one. The one issue with Diva is that she has a lot of abilities that are about her mech. Since Diva has a lot of abilities about her mech, you kind of have to assume that I have a mech. And since I have that mech, does that mean that I have all these other abilities because I have the mech? Or do I just have that one function? So what I'm going to do is choose the one ability or weapon or passive, and then like, it just doesn't work with everything else, if you know what I mean? As an example, for Diva, I'm going to choose boosters because I'll be able to fly around. However, the mech that I have to boost me around with will not have defense matrix, micro missiles. I can't eject from it. Well, I mean, I can leave obviously, but I can't like eject once it gets destroyed. I mean, I'm just kind of screwed. I can't make it self-destruct, I can't call mech, and I can't use fusion cannon. So basically, I can't use her entire kit, but I can fly. And that's what I would choose. Honorable mention, I like the eject thing, because imagine like jumping off a cliff, and then kind of like Mario, you just shrink a size when you die. That'd be kind of cool, but not really sure if that fits within the rules. So for Diva, the one ability I would choose is the boosters, so I can fly around anywhere. We also have to consider, is this in lore or in game? Because in game I'd only be able to fly for like 3 seconds and then a cooldown of 4 seconds, which is still good. But in lore, she can just freaking fly around all the time, so I don't really know which one I'm going to go off of, whether in game or in lore. But either way, it'd be the same. I would choose boosters. Doomfist is in a surprisingly same boat as Diva. Most of his abilities are based off of his gauntlet, so that means that if I chose the gauntlet, I would be able to Seismic Slam, Power Block, Rocket Punch, and Meteor Strike. However, of course, we're going off of one ability. I can only do one ability with it, which is kind of weird. So the first thing I was thinking of is Hand Cannon, because imagine you're like a spy, and then just all of a sudden you just can shoot someone without them even knowing you have a weapon. However, after some thinking, I decided to go with Meteor Strike, actually. The first reason I would want Meteor Strike as my one ability, slash ultimate, slash passive, slash gun, is because, like, if I fall off a building, or if I fall out of a plane, I can, like, just save myself by ultimating and then just crashing back down. We also have to assume that I'll break stuff and that I won't take fall damage during it. So basically, I can just save myself in any situation if I use Meteor Strike. Also, on top of that, it'd be a really cool, like, party trick. Like, imagine I say, hey, wanna see me jump really high? And everyone's like, sure. And then I just basically go into the sky, and then I break someone's house down. But besides that, it would just be a pretty neat trick. I don't know how often I could get it up. It's 1,680 points, which I don't know what that means. I don't know what the ultimate per second passive is. I should probably look that up. Okay, you get 5 ultimate charge points per second. So that means I can get my ultimate every 5.5 minutes. So every 5.5 minutes, I can just show everyone like, hey, I can do this cool trick. Give me YouTube views. That's sad. Either way, Meteor Strikes is pretty cool. You can go far distance with it. Like 66 meters or something to be exact. The one downside is I might leave a giant crater behind, but I guess I could use it for something cool, like if a destruction team needs me, I'll just be like, oh yeah, sure, Meteor Strike. But yeah, enough talking, I would choose Meteor Strike. Junkrat Queen has a little bit of a rough one. Most of her abilities, I don't really see a good application in real life. The only two that maybe is Commanding Shout and Jagged Blade, and I guess Rampage. Actually, honest, all of them will have like a small usage. Carnage, I guess I could cut wood with the axe, I don't know. The Jagged Blade, if I'm really bored, I could like throw it at an apple or something and pull it back to me if I want to be lazy. I think I might destroy stuff with that, but hey, at least I would do it, I guess. Basically, I could use the Jagged Blade to bring stuff to me. Rampage be pretty cool. It'd be pretty cool to watch a person just go 10 meters or however long it goes. And the Commanding Shout would give people extra health in real life, which I'm not sure how that would work. But I think I would actually choose Commanding Shout because of the speed. Like, imagine you're playing a sport and you have to run, and then you just Commanding Shout and you run super fast, and if it works like that, you could use it on your teammates. So for Junker Queen, I would actually choose Commanding Shout for the simple speed boost, and technically it works on other people, and I get extra health in a way. So I mean, if anyone ever pulls a Glock on me, I can just Commanding Shout, have extra health, and run away. Unfortunately, her abilities just aren't as useful in real life as they are in game, of course, so I feel the Commanding Shout would be the most useful out of all of them. Although I do have to say the Jagged Blade would be pretty cool also for like a party trick. I would be pretty good at darts like that. I don't know, Junker Queen's kind of a weird one. Comment down below what you think. Next up is Orisa, and of course I'm not really sure what I would want from Orisa. I personally think the most useful one will be Fortify, because again, like most of these other abilities I think I'm going to be talking about, I think they will be most useful when you're doing something like a talent show, or just doing something that no one else can do. It would be really cool because you could resist stuff like a tornado, for example. The other one, of course, could be Javelin Spin by eating bullets up, but that's a little risky, plus it only lasts like a second. Actually, speaking of Fortify, Fortify only works for like 6 seconds, so that would be risky too. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think the duration of Fortify might screw you over. Like, imagine you're in like a tornado and you're like, I'm gonna show off my epic ability, and then it wears off and you just kind of fly away. I don't know, maybe Javelin Spin would be more useful. The only downside is if you're like testing a bullet and someone just doesn't shoot for a second and it shoots you, that would be quite bad. So it's definitely a toss-up between Fortify and Javelin Spin. I don't really see Terra Surge being super useful. The Energy Javelin would be okay, and the Augmented Fusion Driver, which is her gun, I don't really see a good purpose in it in real life. So I'm gonna go with Fortify. Again, it will give me extra health, and if someone pulls a gun on me, I can't get headshots, so there we go. Ramattra at first was quite a difficult one, but after I thought about it, it really wasn't that hard, and his ability is going to be Nemesis form. Now, of course I said that if you're using something, you can't use the other things from it, if you know what I mean by that. Like if you chose Diva's mech, you can't use boosters and then micro missiles, you can only use one of them. With Nemesis form, that's a little different. If I try to punch someone, a wave of energy will not happen, but I can still punch people. And block, of course, will not significantly reduce my damage. However, I can still like put my arms together. So assuming that Nemesis form won't just force me to run back and forth and all that, it would actually be quite a useful one. I can just for 8 seconds stand there like I'm really buff, and then I can run a little faster. I don't really know. Most of his abilities aren't super useful, and I think just going a little faster and having a little extra health would be useful, just like Commanding Shout. I don't see a Ravenous Vortex helping me, or even Annihilation helping me in any scenario. The Void Barrier would be kind of cool, but it's very temporary. And his weapon, again, would be cool, but I'm not sure how useful it would be. I guess I could sell his Void Accelerator for money, I guess. That's something I should have thought about. Like, what if I sold Orisa's Fusion Driver? I should start using that as a excuse to choose something. I don't know how much money I'd get from it, though. I don't know if we can recreate that technology. So for now, I'm just gonna choose Nemesis form, because I'm selfish. Actually, I guess I wouldn't be super selfish because I'd be selling it anyways, or I don't even know. We're choosing Nemesis form. Reinhardt actually has quite an interesting set of abilities to use in real life. I don't think I'll be choosing Earth Shatter just because I don't see a real purpose in it. Charge would be cool just to go a short distance, I guess, or if I'm playing football, I could just charge through people. That would be kind of broken, I'd probably be kicked out. Rocket Hammer would be fun, just carrying around a giant rocket and just swinging it at people, assuming I can use it. Being able to light a fire would also be quite useful in any scenario with Fire Strike. Like, imagine they're just like, hey, can you start a campfire? Yeah, sure, and just launching a Fire Strike at it. And then the barrier field, I think, would be broken too easily, so I don't think I'm going to use it. We don't know how barriers translate into real life, but I'm sure it'd have some use, but not a ton of use. For me, this is between Rocket Hammer, Charge, and Fire Strike, and I'm actually going to go with Fire Strike just because I feel like it's going to be more fun to start fires randomly. Now, will I have the Rocket Hammer because I have Fire Strike? I'm not really sure. Let's just say that I can just launch a Fire Strike with my hand or something. I don't know. Again, that'd be quite a cool ability. Like, imagine going to America's Got Talent and just launching fire randomly. Nobody knows where it came from. It'd just be cool. And I can also just start fires if I want to, which just, honestly, that's the fun part. I just want it for the fun of it. So although I think Charge actually would be my second choice, because again, in sports, that would be a little broken, I'm gonna go with Fire Strike, just because I think I'm gonna have more fun with it. Also, I just want to mention again, this is my opinion on what I would choose personally. So if you have a different set of abilities, or ultimates, or passives, or whatever, you can comment it down below, like I've said. Or you can go to my Discord and tell me there. Last time I said something about my Discord, someone sent me feet pics, so don't do that. Next up is Roadhog with Scrap Gun, Whole Hog, Chain Hook, and Take a Breather. Quite simple. I don't think I'm going to choose Scrap Gun or Whole Hog just because I don't see a real purpose in them from what I can tell. Honestly, guns aren't super useful in your day-to-day life. Like, sure, maybe once in a blue moon you'll get robbed or something and you can just shoot them, but in reality, I don't think that's going to happen. So it's between Chain Hook, which I can just chain hook stuff towards me, or Take a Breather, where I can heal myself and reduce damage over a short time. We also have to assume there's probably a small downside with doing Take a Breather, like imagine just shoving something in your neck. It will probably bleed. So believe it or not, I'm going to do Chain Hook. Chain Hook actually does reduce damage, which in real life I'm just going to assume it does no damage, or I can manipulate it to not do damage, because I have a good purpose for Chain Hook. Sometimes I take my dogs and I say, hey, let's go into the car and take a drive. And so I'll open the garage door, they'll run out, and then they'll just run away. Now most of the time they'll go to the car, which is great because they're good dogs. But sometimes they'll see a dog or a cat or something, and they're bolt away. So what if I chain hook them back to me? Assuming I don't hurt them. That would be the main purpose of that, is just chain hooking my dog back to me so they don't run away. Probably scare them, so maybe not, but let's just also assume I can use it on other things, so if I get a basketball stuck in a tree I can chain hook it down. Be pretty useful. Take a Breather again would be useful if I was getting shot at, but we're just gonna assume I'm not getting shot at, so chain hook, pretty good. What I would choose. Next up is Sigma, and I'm actually having a really hard time choosing which one, because I think the best scenario with Sigma is actually selling whatever I choose, basically. The experimental barrier, I'm not really sure how useful it would be. At best, I could probably sell it. Accretion, being able to put rocks together. Like, being able to put rocks together would be okay, I'm just not really sure what I would do with it, I'm not really sure how I'd show people my talent. Kinetic Grasp would be quite cool, just being able to shove anything in it and it just goes away. Like, let's say I just go out to eat, I have a bunch of McDonald's trash and I just eat it. I feel like I would accidentally eat something important though, so maybe not? The Hyper Spears, be kinda cool to just throw spears everywhere. And Gravitic Flux I think would be a little bit too destructive for me to use, so maybe not, because you would kind of just slam things down. That'd be kind of weird. So I'm going to go with Kinetic Grasp actually, because I think I could actually use that in my day-to-day life by just being like, hey, you got trash? I'm gonna eat it. So yeah, I'm choosing Kinetic Grasp because I'm lazy and I want my trash thrown away without going to the trash can. But legit, just imagine having a job where you just stand there, Kinetic Grasp over and over again, and you just get rid of trash. I don't know if that'd be more useful than just recycling, but we're not going to think too hard about it. My second choice would probably be Hyper Spears just because I could sell them and get money off of it. Actually, maybe I wouldn't because I don't think they'll have the technology to use them. I don't know. This is too much for my brain. Sigma was a very, very hard one. I'm going to just continue with Kinetic Grasp, and like always, you can give me your opinion in the comments. Winton. For Winston, I think it's pretty easy. I'm going to choose Primal Rage. I think it would be amazing to just turn into a Hulk for a couple seconds and just jump around the world or something, I don't know. Like, let's say I need to go to work quickly and I just jump to work. I don't know, I think Primal Rage would be fun. Quite a simple one. I don't really want a Tesla cannon. I guess Jump Pack would be fun. Ooh, would I rather... Actually, I changed my mind. I'm going to choose Jump Pack. Because even though I'd have to wait a couple of seconds, I could jump, wait a few seconds, jump, wait a few seconds, and I wouldn't have to wait that long Primal Rage cooldown. I've changed my mind. I'm going to choose Jump Pack. Man, I'm changing my mind a lot this video. This is why I go over things. The Barrier Projector, as always, I'm not really sure how useful it would be in real life. So I'm going to go with Jump Pack, with my second option being Primal Rage, because it would be a short burst of jumping, while a Jump Pack would be a consistent jump, I guess. I'd be able to jump it every few seconds. I'm losing it already. I know with my recordings, I slowly lose it over time, especially like in the weird ones like the feet video. But I'm doing a normal video just casually discussing about real life abilities, and I'm already losing it. Next up is the hamster, and this time I'm not going to put a documentary about hamsters because I actually got demonetized because of that. Kind of funny, but don't steal other people's content, kids. For Hammond, I'm going to be honest with you, I think I'm just going to choose roll. I can transfer into a ball and roll around. That's about it. Grapple Claw would be weird because I don't know how it would work if I don't have the ball. Like, do I just go into a straight line rolling, like somersaulting really quickly? Is that how that would work? I'm not really sure. Pile Driver would be cool because I can just jump off a building and slam down without taking fall damage. Adaptive Shields would be cool if I was getting shot at, but I'm not. Minefield would be a bit destructive. Not really sure if I have a use for that. Quad Cannons, again, not really sure if I'd have a use for them because they're guns. So I'm just going to choose roll. I'll roll around town. I would save money on gas. There you go. Actually, how fast is Hammond? 10 meters per second. That is around 22 miles per hour. So yeah, I could go to work with that. So although I'm not going to be going on any highways, I'm going to choose a roll because I could replace my car with that. And finally with the tanks is Zarya. And we got quite a hard one. Her passive is energy. Damage blocked by barriers goes to the particle cannon. I have no idea how I'm going to use that because I won't have the gun. The particle cannon gun isn't anything to write home about either, because if I don't have the particle barrier or projected barrier, it's not going to do much. The particle barrier would be fun to use, I guess, so if like someone throws a rock at me, I can particle barrier myself. That'd be cool. Or I could projected barrier someone else. Again, I'm not really sure what it would do though. You would obviously be able to stop bullets, but like, it's only going to last a couple seconds. On top of that, like, would Graviton Surge even be useful? Like, when's the scenario that you would use Graviton Surge? Maybe, like, you'd throw it somewhere and then it'd just make a mess? Like, why, though? I have no purpose for any of these. I really have no idea which one I would want because you don't have the other parts of it. Alright, hear me out. I'm gonna choose Graviton Surge because it's like a free energy source. So imagine a giant contraption that has a bunch of levers or something or wheels, I don't really know, and you shoot a graviton in the middle of it for a couple seconds and it just makes the power go really fast, and then you have like a generator or something. I have no idea how power works, by the way, and it just stores all that power. If you maximize that, you can make so much power in a short amount of time and just save it for whatever, and then you'd get paid money by a company for doing that because they get to save money on energy. I think that's pretty cool. Probably be easier to sell than a particle cannon, or I guess not really sell, but you can do like hourly wages in it because it's like an ultimate. You have to actually wait, so that means for like 6 minutes you get to do nothing but maybe like play video games as long as you're shooting a graviton surge every 6 minutes. Hey, let me see how long it would take. It takes 2,270 points, so that's about like 7 minutes, I think. Yeah, that's 7.5 minutes. That would be epic. That would be the greatest job ever, having 7.5 minutes to do nothing, and then you just shoot a graviton and you go back to like playing Minecraft. That would be amazing. I'm choosing Graviton Surge if I could get a cool contraption that makes me money. Well, I guess it wouldn't be making me money, I'd be getting money from doing it. Alright everyone, I just got back from work, I took a nap, and I don't know if I'm tired or excited, but let's get on to Ashe. What were we doing again? What video is this? Oh, I get to choose an ability, nice. Alright, what are we working with? Oh, I'm gonna choose Bob, that's pretty obvious, okay. Ashe has some pretty cool abilities like the Viper, Coach Gun, Dynamite, but like, why would I not choose Bob here? It's so obvious. I hate to keep this one short, but like, just, it's Bob. Bob's the answer here. That's the ability I'd want. Next up is Bastion with, again, a hard one. His gun is pretty cool. Having a machine gun on hand would be cool. I don't think I'd choose his grenade over his gun. Reconfigure, I'm not really sure how that would count with the guns. We'll see. Ironclad would be cool if I could take reduced damage half the time. And artillery, I'm not really sure what I would use that for in real life. Quite frankly, I actually think Bastion might have the worst selection because I don't see a real application for any of them, besides maybe being able to shoot a grenade at any time. That would be cool. But would I be shooting a grenade out of my hand, or would I have the gun that can't fire, but it can fire a grenade? I'm not really sure. What would that count as? Also, being able to just have an artillery strike at hand for no reason would also be pretty funny. So Bastion is quite a hard one compared to Ashe, who I immediately knew what I wanted. So personally, I'm going to choose Configuration Artillery, because like I said, with a lot of them, I could show it off as a talent. Because imagine you're at a talent show, for example, and you're like, hey, I'm going to blow myself up and not take damage, because Bastion cannot take damage with his ultimate. And then you shoot 3 artillery strikes on yourself and you don't die. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe not the most useful. I can also use it as like a camera too, because I don't think you have to shoot his bullets. You can just kind of watch people. So I could use his ultimate, go into the sky, and just survey the area. Like, let's say somebody lost their child, and they come up to you and say, hey, can you artillery strike real quick to find my child? Yeah, sure. And then you artillery strike, and you can see, and you don't have to shoot even. So I would do Configuration Artillery, because of the cool camera, and I can blow myself up with nothing happening. Next up is Cassidy. It's pretty obvious what I'm going to choose. I'm going to choose Deadeye. Although it'd be cool to reload a gun immediately by combat rolling, although it'd be cool to have the Peacekeeper in the first place, and although a magnetic grenade just to throw every 8 seconds would be cool, being able to accurately shoot stuff, it's just too good. Like, imagine having perfect aim at like however long the distance is for Deadeye. Okay, the limit is 200 meters. And then you can have perfect accuracy. That would be epic. So yeah, for Cassidy, I'm just gonna choose Deadeye because that would be so cool. Next up is Echo with kind of a complicated one. Tri-shot would be cool to just have on standby. Sticky bombs again would be cool just to shoot out of nowhere. Flight would be cool, but without the glide passive, I think I would just fall. So I'm not really sure if that'd be a good idea. And focusing beam, I'm not really sure what I would use that for. At least not without help. I really don't think going into the military with the Overwatch abilities would be a good idea because you'd probably just get shot anyways. So I don't think any of the damaging abilities would be good. Plus I don't think flight would be very good. Duplicate would be interesting though. It's definitely between duplicate and glide for me. I think it would be absolutely amazing for at any point in your life, you could just glide. Like let's say you fall off a building and you're just like, oh, I'm gonna glide so I don't die. And also, like, let's say the plane is crashing and you can just leave and you're just like, hey guys, I'm just gonna leave and then glide away. But then again, duplicate would also be awesome because you can duplicate into somebody else for like 15 seconds and just go on with your day. Now this might be a little controversial, but I would personally choose glide because I can use it at any point in my life. I literally could just jump off my desk or something and glide out the door, I don't know. I think glide would just be too much fun to use, while duplicate would be too situational. Because sure, duplicating into someone for 15 seconds, that's cool. But like, are you gonna do anything with that besides America's Got Talent, obviously? While glide, I think I could actually find a use for. I think the best application would be like going to the top of a building and then gliding away to go home, I don't know. Imagine working for a CEO, going to the top floor and just jumping off and gliding home. I think that'd be cool. So I would choose glide. Next up is Genji, and I have to say, this one is a very, very hard one. Either I can throw shurikens, I can have a sword with a dragon, I can deflect bullets, I can dash. I mean, it's cooler than how I said it, but still. Or I can climb on walls and double jump. And I have no idea what I would want most. I think I'm gonna rule out Dragon Blade just because I wouldn't get it very often because it's an ultimate. I do think the other ones would cause more intrigue more often because I have them on a shorter cooldown. I don't think I'm going to choose shurikens just because they're shurikens. And then I think I have to decide between Swift Strike and Cyber Agility, and I think I'm going to choose Cyber Agility over Swift Strike, because even though I could like Swift Strike onto the top of a building, I could also just wall climb it and have a double jump on top of it without a cooldown. Now if I was killing people, then I guess I get it off cooldown, but we don't talk about that. And now the big question is, would I want Deflect over Cyber Agility? The thing is, I don't think Deflect would be as useful as Cyber Agility, although I think you could probably make a living just deflecting stuff. Like saying, hey, want to shoot something at me? I'll deflect it. Be risky, but you could do it. So personally, I would choose Cyber Agility just because I think the movement abilities would be really fun in real life. And I guess you could be a movie star by being able to double jump and wall climb. However, I think definitely Genji has some that were very, very close, especially Deflect, at least for me, because I think deflecting stuff would just be cool. So I would choose Cyber Agility, but as always, comment what you would choose down in the comments. Prepare for the wrath of Hanzo's Hansbo. Unfortunately for me, I think I would have to choose Wall Climb for Hanzo also. The Storm Bow is cool, the Storm Arrows are cool, and the Sonic Arrow is also pretty cool. Like imagine being able to sonar people through walls to see what they're doing. Be a little weird, but you could do it. And also I think Lunge wouldn't be as cool as Wall Climb, so that's why I would choose Wall Climb over it. And I'm sure some people would choose Dragon Strike, like imagine just Dragon Striking through your neighborhood and killing people. But personally, I don't think that would be very good, and I'd probably get arrested for that and put in solitary confinement where I could never shoot a Dragon Strike again. So let's not choose that one. Personally, I think the two coolest one is Sonic Arrow and Wall Climb. Sonic Arrow, like I said, you can see people through walls. Like let's say you're going to Subway and you're like, hey, are they busy? And you can just sonar the wall quickly to see if it's busy. It'd be cool, but I think just being able to wall climb is even more cool. I'm probably a little biased on that, like I said, I like the movement abilities, but just like Genji, comment what you would do. I'm gonna stop saying that from now on, by the way. Next up is Junkrat, and personally, I think it's pretty obvious what you should choose. So there's the Frag Launcher, not that cool. Rip Tire, kinda cool. Concussion Mine, at first you would think it was cool, but I'll tell you why it's not. And Steel Trap, not as cool, but I guess it would be okay. The one that I think you should choose is Total Mayhem. Deals no damage to self with explosives, and you drop bombs on death. Most of you probably thought his passive was only dropping bombs on death, but it also deals no damage to self with explosives. So that means that if you have Concussion Mine and you blow yourself up, you'll take damage. but with Total Mayhem, you wouldn't. However, since we can't choose two, I would just choose Total Mayhem on its own. Theoretically, I could make my own bomb and then launch myself with my homemade bomb, or I could buy one legally, I guess. Although not being able to take damage from your own explosives is amazing. Again, you could get a lot of use out of that, just being like, hey, I'm gonna blow myself up, watch this. Like, that would be a pretty cool YouTube video, am I right? So personally, I would choose Total Mayhem, because I'd be invulnerable to explosives, or at least my own. And even then, that'd be pretty cool. Also, if I ever have a heart attack, my family would be like, hey, are you alive? And then they'll steal grenades and they're like, oh, nope, he's not. That's such a sad ability. Like, imagine you have a loved one, they're on their deathbed in the hospital, and then there's just like a blast shield in front of them. Oh, don't get too close, he might explode at any point. I would still choose Total Mayhem though. Next up is Mei, and again, this is another hard one, until I thought about it for a little bit. First off, we have the Endothermic Blaster. Be cool to freeze people, I guess. Then there's Cryo Freeze, become invulnerable and heal yourself. I don't know how that would work in real life with healing. Like, let's say I have a scratch, would it heal my wounds instantly? Because it heals like half of Mei's health. So I don't know, maybe Cryo Freeze would be a little broken in real life. And then there's also Ice Wall. I guess if you want to put an Ice Wall for a couple seconds, that'd be cool. I'm not really sure if I would. However, I would choose Blizzard, and it's for a weird reason. If you've ever paid attention to Blizzard, you may notice that Snowball is the one who causes the blizzard. Because of that reason, it wouldn't be too far-fetched to say that the ultimate blizzard also is Snowball, so technically I would get a little friend if I had Blizzard. So yeah, I would choose Blizzard for Mei because I would get Snowball, the little Omnic guy. Although if I don't get Snowball as a pet, I would probably choose Cryo Freeze just because I could heal wounds theoretically. But for now, I would choose her ultimate Blizzard. Next up is Pharah, and I don't think most of her abilities would be very helpful in real life. First off, you got a rocket launcher, good luck. Then you got Barrage, good luck finding a purpose for that. Then you got Concussive Blast. I guess that would be kind of useful if you want to like push someone, I don't know. Jump Jet would be cool to get on top of a house, like I said. It wouldn't be the most useful thing ever. And then you got Hover Jets, where you can just kind of hover and kind of go the same height as Jump Jets, just slower. As always, if I'm not really sure what I want, I'd probably choose the most consistent one, or the one that would give me the most fame. Personally, I think Hover Jets would probably do that. So the Rocket Launcher is just a rocket launcher. Barrage, although cool, is just a bunch of rockets. Concussive Blast would be kinda cool, but I feel like I would hurt myself if I used it. And even if I didn't, I don't know how useful it would be. I guess I could get to somewhere faster with it. And then Jump Jets, it wouldn't be very useful if I take fall damage, so I don't really think I'd want Jump Jets because I'd hurt myself. And therefore, I would choose Hover Jets because, kind of like Echo, I can just kind of glide around if I need to. Also, I can hover up to high places or bridge small gaps if I need to. I don't know why I would. I've never had that issue in real life. But I mean, it'd be kind of cool just to jump around roofs. I don't know if I can get sued for that, but I could do it. But that is why I would choose Hover Jets. Also, something interesting I'm going to start doing is I'm going to keep track of whether I choose a weapon, a passive, an ultimate, or an ability to see which ones are the most useful. So basically, would I choose mostly passives or mostly ultimates? Who knows? Personally, right now, I think it's going to be either ultimates or passives from what I can remember. But we'll see at the end. Next up is Reaper with some cool ones. We got his guns, not really sure what I'd use them for. Death Blossom, not really sure what I would use it for. The Reaping, don't really know what I would use that for. I'm not planning on shooting people. But then the next two are pretty cool. Shadow Step and Wraith Form. Wraith Form makes me invulnerable and faster, and I cannot be shot. And Shadow Step makes me teleport to a target. So for this one, I actually think I have to question whether this is in-game or out-of-game. Because if we're talking about in lore, Wraith Form would be pretty cool. Just being able to kind of wraith around everywhere. And then Shadow Step would kind of be a part of it, but let's just say I can't teleport like that. So if we're talking about outside of the game, and we're just talking about the lore of Overwatch, I would choose Wraith Form. But if we're talking about strictly how they are in-game, I would choose Shadow Step. And because of Mei, how I chose Blizzard because of Snowball, I would have Snowball in order to do Blizzard. And that's not in-game, that would be out-of-game because I would need to have Snowball in order to have it work. Honestly, I don't even know if that made sense. Did that make sense? I don't know. Alright, so how many characters did it take for me to lose it? Anyways, I would probably choose Wraith Form because I just get to wraith around everywhere. We'll just go with in general. We'll go out of game. If in the lore of Overwatch I can Wraith Form, and just use it however I'd want, that'd be cool. If not, Wraith form would still be pretty cool just to use. I'm not really sure. Reaper would be a hard one because of a lot of technicalities, and I'm personally not trying to do mass murder or anything, so I don't think the other abilities would be super useful for me. So it's definitely between Shadow Step and Wraith form, and I'm gonna go with Wraith form because theoretically he can just kind of zoom around in Wraith form, and because of that it would kind of take the purpose of Shadow Step, so I'll do Wraith form. Next up is Sojourn. I think this one's pretty simple. All of her abilities are about killing people, Disruptor Shot, Overclock, Railgun, so I'm gonna go with Power Slide because I think that's the only one that would not get me arrested. Just that simple. Already onto Soldier, and he has some good ones. Heavy Pulse Rifle, I don't really see a purpose. Helix Rocket, again, I'm not really going to be using it in real life. Biotic Field would be cool. If somebody's hurt, I could just drop it. Sprint, I can run forever, technically. That would be epic. And Tactical Visor, automatically aims your weapon at targets in view. Hear me out. I would choose Sprint 100%. You would be the best marathon runner. I don't know anything about marathons, but I'm pretty sure they don't just bolt at full speed, and therefore I think Sprint would be great for marathons. I'll actually do the math right now to see if you would break the world record or something along that line. Next up is Sombra, and she has probably the coolest set of abilities in the entire game. She has the machine pistol, whatever. EMP, it's just cool. You could literally just EMP a short radius. That's probably illegal, but still. Also, technically it would hit people, so you'd like hurt people. Maybe it wouldn't be as cool. Being able to hack, I don't know what that means in real life. Well, obviously I know what it means. But what would that do? What would that translate to? Like, can I just hack somebody's phone instantly? That would be epic. Stealth, again, would be just absolutely epic just to stealth around. And Translocator, I could just be dropped off at work, and then when I'm done I could be like, okay, bye, and translocate home. Again, very useful. There's also Opportunist, but I don't think that's going to be super useful in real life. As a personal opinion, I would 100% choose Stealth. With Translocator, it'd be useful, I guess. Hack, sure you could do a hacking job. You'd be very good at it. Actually, that one's probably better. But, as a personal preference, because I'm selfish, I would choose Stealth, because just imagine, you could live off of anything. You could do so many bank robberies. Not that I would, except I totally would. Actually, I probably shouldn't choose Stealth because I would be too irresponsible with it. I would just go into a grocery store and be like, man, I'm hungry, eat an apple, and then just leave or something. Am I able to grab like a cereal box and go back into Stealth? Or would I have to like, or could I stay into Stealth and just grab the cereal and it just goes invisible? I wonder if people would catch me. That would be weird. Going on the security camera and just seeing your cereal disappear? Okay, that's just too cool. I think being a stealth character would be amazing. You could mess with so many people. I love it. Hack, though, would be my second choice. You could probably stop wars off of that, but I don't care. I'm selfish. I'm choosing stealth. That would be epic. Next up is Symmetra. I'm pretty sure I already know what I'm going to choose, and that's going to be Teleporter. Assuming it's not a super short distance and I could just kind of place it at a long distance, imagine I could just teleport to work and back. That'd be so convenient. Just having a teleporter in the back of work, just being like, alright, I'm going home, and just teleport home. I mean, I don't really want people going to my house, though. That'd be weird. I would need it to be in a secret location. Either way, I think I would choose teleporter over everything else. A sentry turret would be cool. I could definitely, like, robber-proof my house with that. Like, just having a turret that kills people when they walk in. That would be my second choice. Photon Barrier and Photon Projectile, I don't really think I'd have a huge purpose for, so... Sentry Turret I would choose if Teleporter didn't exist, and because Teleporter exists, I would choose Teleporter. Torbjorn. I'm probably not going to choose Forge Hammer, that just doesn't do anything. Rivet Gun again, the guns aren't super useful in real life. Molten Core would be cool to just be able to summon lava whenever. Also Overload, being able to have extra health movement, reload speed, all that stuff. I'm not really sure what I would use it for though. And then finally we got Deploy Turret. Again, I'm just not sure what I would use out of Torbjorn's kit in real life. Just like I think Zarya I said, I think Molten Core would be useful as like a power source, I guess, if I could find a use for Molten Core, or I guess Molten Lava. Kind of like Zarya, I feel like I could find a use for Molten Core, being able to just summon lava whenever I want, within reason of course. I would have a cooldown. I think would be super useful, but I'm not really sure what I would use it for. And then deploy turret, I don't really expect it to do anything. Again, I could stop robbers from coming into my house, and I guess I could tell it to shoot stuff for no reason. This one is definitely harder than the other ones. I don't think I would choose Overload, I don't think I would choose the gun or hammer, so it's definitely between Molten Core and Deploy Turret. Alright, I was originally gonna go with Deploy Turret, but I've decided to go with Molten Core because I bet I could just go up to a company and say, hey, I can produce lava every like 6 minutes. How much are you gonna pay me? And there you go. I would just produce lava. Cost free. Well, not cost free. I would have them pay me. That would be cool. So yeah, I would choose Molten Core for economic benefits. Oh yeah. Next up is Tracer with some very simple abilities, but surely I'm not sure what I would choose. Pulse pistols, whatever, it's a gun. Pulse bomb, it's a grenade. It'd be powerful, but I'm not really sure if I would use it. But then we got Blink and Recall. These abilities would be cool in real life. I'm not sure how far back I'd be able to go with Recall, and I'm not sure how many blinks I would get before I go on cooldown, but I think I'm going to choose Blink over Recall. Recall, I just don't see having a real purpose without Blink, if you know what I mean. Like, if I fall off a building, sure, Recall would be useful, but in most scenarios, I don't see Recall being useful. Anyways, I would choose Blink because I like the movement. That's about it. Next up is Widowmaker. At least for me, this is pretty easy. You got Widow's Kiss, it's a sniper, cool, I'm not going to be shooting anyone. Venom Mine, not really wanting to poison anyone. Grapple Hook, pretty cool. Just saying, being able to grapple hook, that would be amazing, but like the other abilities, I'm not really sure what I would use it for. And finally, we got Infrasight. It's not the most useful thing ever, but being able to see people through walls would just be fun. Kind of like with Sonar Arrow, I could be like, hey, it's Dairy Queen, does it have a line? And then just use Infrasight when I'm nearby. Again, it wouldn't be super useful because I could just use my eyes or something, but I don't know, I think being able to see through walls would just be cool. Grapple Hook, again, it'd be cool, but I don't know if it'd be as cool as seeing people through walls. You would always win hide and seek with Infrasight. Now onto the supports, and we have to think about something like healing, because I think in every scenario I would choose the healing option, because being able to just heal someone from almost dying would be cool. So I don't know if I should count healing as I instantly save someone, because if someone has like cancer and I shoot him with Ana's biotic rifle, would I heal their cancer? I don't know. Also, if I was to sleep dart someone, how long would they be asleep for? This is already one of the hardest ones with Ana. So I'm going to tell you, believe it or not, I would choose the biotic rifle because I would theoretically be able to just instantly heal someone from almost dying. Theoretically, at least. What is the science between the biotic rifle? Let's look real quick. According to this Reddit post I found, apparently it's just magic healing juice. Again, I don't really know what the realism would be with Ana's biotic rifle, but I would like to imagine it could heal stuff like wounds, maybe not cancer, because that's kind of chronic or something like that. Again, I'm not really smart, so I can't really tell you how to get rid of cancer. However, I still think biotic rifle would be more useful than a 5-second sleep dart or a small grenade that heals, just because it can heal more, and I'm not really sure if Nano Boost would do anything. So I would probably just go to a hospital and say, hey, anyone got into a car crash recently? And shoot him with a gun that heals. So yeah, I would choose Biotic Rifle, which might be one of the first times I chose a gun for this. Next up is Baptiste with Biotic Launcher, Regenerative Burst, Exo Boots, Immortality Field, and Amplification Matrix. I don't think I would choose Amplification Matrix just because I don't see a purpose, I guess. What would I be amplifying? I don't know. Immortality Field would be cool, but like, I would probably almost die in the process and just bleed out. Like, imagine I'm like, watch this, I'm not gonna die, blow myself up, and then as soon as it goes away I die. I don't know. It wouldn't be very smart to have it. Exo Boost would be cool. I would probably take fall damage on the way down though, so again, maybe not as cool. Regenerative Burst, healing people in an aura would be cool, but honestly a Biotic Launcher where I can just shoot healing would be more useful. I would just go into a hospital and shoot people with a gun again. As always, weapons heal wounds, apparently. Next up is Brigitte with a lot of abilities. However, I think it's pretty obvious what I would want to do. So we got Rocket Flail, not going to choose that. Rally would gain armor and provide extra health to allies. However, I'm not really worried about having armor and giving health to people. Repair Pack would heal people for a short duration. Be pretty cool, keep that one in mind. Whip Shot wouldn't be super useful. Barrier Shield wouldn't be super useful. I'm not sure what I would be blocking. Shield Bash, I would just be bashing someone's face in. And Inspire, dealing damage to enemies, heal nearby allies. I had this discussion with a friend where if you had Inspire in real life, and this was actually one of the abilities that got us talking about this, imagine you have like a Nazi soldier captured by the United States that is clearly your enemy, at least in the US, and you punch him in a hospital full of like critically ill people, and they just get healed every time you punch the you know who. I don't know if I can get demonetized for that word. Either way, I would definitely choose Repair Pack or Inspire, and I would probably end up choosing Repair Pack, let's be honest here, just because I wouldn't have to have a Nazi soldier in a hospital. So I would probably choose Repair Pack so I could heal people and get money. I was trying to do like a leprechaun voice and it didn't work. However, Inspire I guess could be technically more useful if I was really, really aggressive towards someone. But again, Repair Pack be pretty good too. Next up is Kiriko with Healing of Fuda. I really hope I say these right. Kunai, Kitsune Rush, Swift Step, Wall Climb, and Protection, Suzu. Unfortunately, with all the healers, I'm just going to be going with Healing of Fuda. I can just heal people. I don't really care about the Fox. I don't need knives. Teleporting would be cool, but I don't think it'd be as useful as the healing. And Protection Suzu, I'm not really sure how that would work in real life. And Wall Climbing, although cool, I think healing other people would be better. On to LifeWeaver. We can dash, we can grip, we can put a platform down, we can put a giant freaking tree down, and we can do a Thorn Volley. But I think the supports are going to be boring, and I'm just going to do Healing Blossom. Honestly, I probably should have done the supports in the middle and not at the end, but it is how it is. I would choose Healing Blossom to save people's lives. Maybe I should do this thing where if it wasn't for the healing, like let's say the healing doesn't work, what would I choose? For LifeWeaver, if the healing didn't work, I would probably do... I don't know actually. I would probably do Life Grip. You know, just like Roadhog where I can hook my dog. Well, Life Grip, I guess I wouldn't hurt my dog because I would just Life Grip it. I'll go back to the other ones to see what I would do if it wasn't for healing. So back to Kiriko, I would do Swift Step just because teleporting to people would be cool. For Brigitte, this one's pretty impossible for me to tell actually. I don't know what I would choose because most of them aren't very useful besides the healing, so I'm just going to go with Repair Pack. We'll just assume it's like a medkit, so still the same. Baptiste, I would choose Exo Boost just because I like movement, and I don't think anything else would be useful. And for Ana, I would probably just choose Sleep Dart. It'd be kind of funny to just force my friends to take a nap for 5 seconds. That's probably illegal though. Oh well. On to Lucio. I would just do the healing. I would just have his aura, his crossfade on healing. That's it. But if I had to choose one that's not healing, I would 100% do the wall ride. Wall riding like on a bridge would be so cool. However, like I said, I would probably choose crossfade because I think being able to heal and speed, it's just more useful. It'd be better for humanity. And although I said it was selfish with Sombra, for the healers, I'm not gonna be. I mean, if I had to choose between stealth and healing, maybe I would choose stealth over that, but maybe I just like stealth. Maybe it's not that, like, I'm a selfish person. Maybe I just like going invisible in video games. Because I'm invisible in real life, sad face. Moving on to Mercy, it'd be Resurrect. Come on. Why would it not be Resurrect? It's not even a healing one. Just resurrecting someone who, like, got into a car crash, as long as I'm there within 10 seconds. That would not be very useful, actually. Oh well. Like, imagine being able to resurrect, right? And being in a hospital, and them just coming up to you and saying, hey, we messed up. Can you resurrect this person when they die? And they are just at full health, like whatever injury they've gotten into. I would just save their life. That'd be so cool. So I would choose Resurrect as my ability in real life. As for Moira, my ability would probably just be the Healing Grasp, or I guess it's called Biotic Grasp. The Healing Orb would be cool, but I'm not really sure how useful it would be. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, I don't know if I would have a better healing per second with the Biotic Orb or with the Biotic Grasp. So maybe I should choose the Biotic Orb, I guess? I don't really know which one. By the way, if I had to choose one that wasn't healing, it'd have to be Fade, because Fading's just cool. And all the other ones have healing except for the Biotic, like, Gripping, where I take somebody's life force. I'm not going to be taking somebody's life force, so I'd be forced to choose something that's healing. And so, since I wouldn't choose healing, it'd be Fade. However, since I am choosing a healing option, it'd probably be between Biotic Orb or Biotic Grasp. And I'm not confident which one would give me more healing over time, so maybe Biotic Orb, because as soon as it goes off cooldown, I have to launch another one. And as for Biotic Grasp, I would run out and I would have to wait that really, really long cooldown. So I would choose Biotic Orb actually, because I think it would do more consistent healing per second. Over time, at least. In a short burst, Biotic Grasp would be better, but over time, Biotic Orb would just be pretty cool. We got Zenyatta. The simple answer would be Orb of Harmony. I could just go into somebody's hospital room, give them the orb, and move on with my life. However, if I had to choose one that was not a healing option, it'd probably just have to be Snap Kick. Like, imagine you're wrestling or something. I don't know what sport. I don't even know. Sumo wrestling. How about that? You're in a sumo wrestling competition. I don't know, where you push people off. I don't know if this is legal, but can you Sparta kick someone? Like, just Sparta kick one of those guys out of the ring? That would be cool. With the increased knockback? Yeah, I would choose Snap Kick, so I could Sparta kick people as Zenyatta. And that is it. That is all the abilities I would like in real life, if I could only choose one from each hero. Some of them I feel like could be changed out, like Sombra. I think Hack would probably be more useful. However, Stealth I would just personally choose. While others, I'm not really sure. I think there's only like one option for like Cassidy, like Deadeye, come on. Perfect aim, you can get your own gun, you can get your own grenades, you can probably do a somersault, I hope. But can you do perfect accuracy? I don't know if you can. I mean, I'm sure you could get there, but maybe not perfect all the time. Although I have seen Deadeye miss, so maybe not exactly perfect anyways. With all that being said, like and subscribe. Join the Discord if you would like to correct me when I'm wrong, because I'm wrong a lot. I see a lot of comments correcting my videos. I feel very bad for people who watch my videos. I'm sorry. Well, like I said, like and subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Bark! Bark!